Hi everyone and welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 25. I'm here and Ian is here.
Hello.
He's smirking in a weird way.
I'm not.
We always do a bit of silly before.
This is my
before
podcasting look.
This is your podcasting look. Okay, fair enough. So this week we thought, given we are the Brickbods, the brick building family, we would talk about what it's like to be a brick building family and what that exactly means. So
what does it mean?
Well, it means that you and I like Lego and we inflict it upon our children.
Yep.
And they seem okay with it.
They do.
Which is, I think, why it's okay to be the brick building family and why we are a brick building family. If we were Lego enthusiasts and we tried to get our kids to do it and they didn't want to do it, then I think that would be us lying to the public. But literally everyone in this house gets excited about Lego.
Yes.
So we definitely are a brick building family. What do you think it means? What I just said?
Yeah.
You agree with me?
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
So what's it like being a brick building family?
It's okay. It's expensive.
It is. It's very expensive. Do you ever feel like sometimes our kids only like Lego because we make them like Lego?
I don't think so.
Do you think all kids like Lego?
No, I'm guessing. So, I guess it depends how you try to get them into Lego. If you go, here's a set, you have to follow the instructions to build something, then I think some kids don't like that.
Yeah, there are many different ways for anyone to interact with Lego, isn't there?
If you give kids a pile of bricks and say, build what you want, some kids won't like that.
Yeah.
If you give kids a finished set and just go play with it, then it'll depend on the set whether the kid likes it or not. So, yeah, I think that's different. So, Leah really likes just taking small parts and sticking them together and making little patterns and stuff like that.
And when she also builds slightly bigger things, but she doesn't really have many parts. Like, she's limited in what she has because she will build like a set together and she'll take the little bits off and reuse those.
Yeah.
So she's not building grand mocks or anything.
No.
Because she doesn't have the piece or like the life experience to know what she wants to build, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that she's building is, this is my ice cream thing. And Hayley's similar in her approach to Lego, is that she just likes taking the small bits and putting them, like taking them on and off. She gets a bit more frustrated, obviously, because of her age. But she likes the minifigures as well and like the doll aspect, like using them as people to play.
Yeah.
She's less like trying to build her own things at this point. Although actually the other day she was saying this is her scepter, and she'd built this like long sticky thing for Moana. She's like, it's her scepter.
Okay.
But I think that she's just copying Leah at this stage.
Yeah, she imitates Leah a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, we took them to the Lego convention and they had the little Duplo pit.
Yeah.
And she sat and did she build stuff there? Did she just...
I don't know, I walked off to look at the mocks because, that's what I do.
I think she mainly had she put one of the figures on a motorbike and was just driving that round. But
right.
She made a little ice cream.
With Elsa on the top.
Yeah, then put a cupcake on top. She pretended the candle was a paintbrush and was painting stuff. So.
This the thing is, it's such a versatile toy that you can just do that and get something out of it. As they get older, if they decide they don't want to play with Lego anymore, what do we do then?
Steal their Lego.
I'm glad you said that because that's totally my plan.
If they don't want, then they don't want to. We don't force any toy on them.
Would we not then lose our identity? Would we have to rebrand and just be the brick building couple with really annoyed kids with us?
Maybe.
I think this is the thing, is that we've got a big city. I can't see that ever not being fun in my mind. Going up to the Lego room and playing in the city. Yeah. How can that not be fun? I guess when you're a teenager, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, this is you've got the whole Dark Ages thing. And I don't know, so a lot of people talk about that from a point of view of it's no longer kind of acceptable within your peer group to play with Lego. And so you stop for that reason.
But how will they know?
I don't know. So if we've got a Lego city, then they may not talk about the fact that they like playing with Lego to friends, but they may still go up there and play. I have a feeling by the time they reach that age, all of their friends will have found out that they have a Lego city because they'll have mentioned it when they're younger. Yes.
So they'll know the background of our household setup as such.
But, they can pretend that they're not interested in Lego and the city is purely ours. And
it's just that embarrassing thing that parents do.
Yeah. Or the fact that we happily play with Lego might mean that they don't feel
Yeah,
that there is any
that's
stigma
kind of what I'm
associated
hoping,
with it.
that they will see that two fully grown adults can play with this toy and get something out of it,
Yeah.
and be just as excited about it as they are, if not sometimes more so. In fact, most of the time more so, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that is a good thing to show them, isn't it? We're great parents.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided.
Good. I mean, so I didn't particularly go through a dark ages for any particular reason. I just stopped playing with Lego.
I think it's the time, isn't it? You don't have the time available because you start doing more, like you gain more independence and things, so you go out more. You're not at home to do the Lego-y stuff.
Well, it's more that I got more interested in computers, so I was mainly playing on computers.
And now you've worked out a way to do both
Yeah.
together. So, do you think playing with Lego as a child helped you be more analytical and like engineering based?
No.
No, you think that's just, it played to your interests already, so you were going along that path.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to help our children be more into STEM?
Maybe.
I mean, the way I see them play with it at the moment isn't really an engineering like application.
No.
They go, oh look, here's some mini dolls, let's make up a small world and play it. That's not really like helpful in that regard.
So I mean, if you look at, we go to the Lego store, you take Leah, she tells you all of the sets that she wants for Christmas.
Yeah.
So she's definitely excited about the sets.
Yeah.
Hayley less so.
I think though with Leah, she wants them to play with.
Yeah.
That's definitely more of her end goal than she wants to follow the instructions and build.
Yeah.
But then when we do our reviews on the channel, she's proud that she's made a 6+ set when she's not 6. So she wants to be good at the building. I think she just gets really frustrated sometimes when she isn't able to do it.
Yeah.
And she wants to be like better than she is. But I think we just enjoy the process. The last time I built quite a lot of the set, but she helped.
Yeah.
And so she still felt involved and she was still having fun. And that's the whole point of it. We're meant to be doing this in a fun way. The thing I find stressful is whose Lego is whose. Like, when you think when they've grown up, if they're still very much into Lego and they don't want to leave their sets here, how on earth do we unwind all of the stuff that is in our house to, these are Hayley's sets and these are Leah's sets and these are Mummy's sets? I think we should just draw a line and say, right, you start collecting from this point and Mummy gets everything from before then. That's my personal point of view. Like, all the stuff we've bought them growing up is now mine. And then they can buy their own. Do you not think that's fair?
No.
But like, there's so many pieces scattered around.
Yeah.
I mean, literally scattered around.
This room is just awful to walk in.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a better storage solution for Lego.
That is definitely one that we struggle with. Managing the storage of Lego when you're playing with it. I don't know. Growing up, I had like one box of Lego. It was one big box of Lego, and it was at my granddad's house most of the time, and we would play with it around there. And it was nothing fancy. I think between us, my sister and I had like maybe 2 actual sets, but the rest, my mum tells me, was just picked up from like a dentist's office or something. So it's just all secondhand Lego, and we would just get the bits out, build, put it back. It would literally all go back into the same tub. Whereas because I'm a set builder, I feel the need to try and put things back together at the end of playing. Like, I want it to look like a city and things like that. And Leah doesn't play that way. As soon as I put something back, she then just destroys it again.
Yes.
So we need to think more about what works for her as a Lego builder and how to do that. But I don't know, because she's constantly evolving, because she's 5. So how she plays with it now might not be how she plays with it in a year.
Yeah.
And putting a system in place costs money, then you've got to redo it all. It's just frustrating. And also, even if we found a system that works for her, Hayley can come in and completely destroy that system at any moment.
Yes.
Because she's 3 and that's what she does.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I think at one point in our brick building family journey, we were like, right, Hayley, you've got Duplo and that's it. We were not letting you near the Lego. Whereas now, those lines are very much blurred.
Well, as soon as you've got... So that was when we would say, Leah, your Lego has to stay in your room so Hayley can't get hold of it. And Hayley wasn't allowed in Leah's room.
Yeah.
She didn't have free reign of the upstairs.
Yeah.
Now she does. She'll go in to Leah's room and play with the Lego. Leah no longer keeps it all in her room, so it's all downstairs as well. So, you can't expect Hayley to pay attention to the rules if it's just there's Lego everywhere.
Yeah. She doesn't really understand that certain bits go with certain bits. She's just like, this is all just Lego. Yeah, how do we tackle that problem? The 18-year-olds that want their Lego and we don't know what's theirs. Should we be cataloguing it as we go?
Maybe. Keeping track of what they get for birthdays and Christmas, and that's their Lego. Anything outside of those is our Lego.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I will get Leah to build a set with me, and we'll do it for the channel, and I have the intention that that's going in the city, and she has the intention that that is now her new toy.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. If I said to her, "Oh, that Raya set, that's actually Mummy's," she'd be like, "What?" So it's just how to manage those boundaries.
Yeah.
I guess Brick Set's our friend in this. We could just add notes to every set. We could create Leah a Brick Set account and start putting her stuff in, but I think that would be a bit annoying. Like, you kind of wanted to be able to see it all in one place. I guess I haven't really looked at the labels in Brick Set. Maybe we should look at that.
Yeah. Take a look, see what we can do.
I don't want to categorise my Lego versus your Lego because, it's all my Lego. This is the thing, you don't have any, sets that you brought to, we've literally been collecting together. There's no, this is my childhood Lego. I've got my childhood Lego, but you haven't got yours. And my childhood Lego is nothing to write home about.
It's got some Fabuland characters.
It has got some Fabuland, yeah. But it's nothing complete.
No.
So there's maybe some minifigs in there that are interesting, but so we know that our Lego collection is joint.
Yes.
And
I mean, technically some of it is presents I've given you and some of it's presents you've given me, but pretty much all evens out, doesn't it?
It does. I think it's a good reason to stay together.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're ever doubting your marriage, look at your Lego collection and think how hard it would be to separate that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you could just go, oh, right, you get the CD player and I'll go buy a new CD player kind of thing. Although that's quite a dated reference. You get the toaster and I'll buy a new toaster, I think. Who has CD players these days? I don't know where that came from. No. Anyway, it's not easy to replace.
Yeah.
So, that really lovely cafe corner you've got, or I've got, just to clarify, because it is mine.
One of them is.
Yeah. Both of them are mine. You gave them both to me.
I didn't.
But, okay, let's not talk about modulars, because we do have two of each, so we could split those. But a set that is now retired and hard to get.
Like the Ewok Village.
Yes. Well, that's yours, in my mind.
Okay. There we go. Sorted.
And I would be happy to let you have that, if I'm honest.
Okay. What about the fishing store?
No, that's mine. That's definitely mine, yeah. Because I used my redundancy money to buy it. And it's my white whale. I don't know, because it is just joint money at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's never break up.
Okay.
So what does it look like being a brick building family? Do we play with Lego every single day?
You do.
I do, because it's kind of my job now. But would you say that's playing or just doing something?
I don't know.
With Lego. I'd say with Leah and Hayley, that's one of their main toys that they will find. If they're essentially, they get up and if they find a toy in front of them, they'll play with it first.
Yeah.
So when they find the Lego, they'll start playing with the Lego.
Yes.
So I think that's quite but do we play with it as a family every day? No, because we don't have time.
No.
Do we ever actually play with it as a family? Like
Probably
all four
not.
of us playing at the same time?
No.
Is that because there's not enough room in our Lego room?
No, I think... So, I will be in the playroom with Hayley and we'll get the Duplo out and build something. I did that with Leah when she was little as well.
I think, we just don't ever play all as a family because there's always other things to be getting on with.
Yeah.
It's very much... Family time is actually just one parent plus kids. It's not both parents plus kids. Which is a shame. Well, you do get the occasional you'll go out.
Yeah, days out, meal times.
You'll use that time to do days out. You won't use it to say, let's just build as a family. And I think that's what I really loved about last New Year. That seemed like it was the very first year that our kids were old enough that we could both sit and play with Lego and they would be playing with Lego and we were all literally playing with Lego at the same time. And not necessarily, we weren't all doing the same sets, but we were all building.
Yep.
And I was like, look at us, we're a brick building family. It was just like, it's nice. So it's not all Lego 24/7, is it?
No. Of course, I mean, they obviously now, they've really got into Lego Friends TV series.
Yes.
So they tend to be watching a couple of those each day.
But generally it's the same ones over and over because trying to find them is hard work.
Well, yeah, you just put the Lego channel, which plays them all in a loop.
Yeah, but it is the
So
same
it depends
ones.
on... So they were doing Series 1, they're now doing Series 2. So what you watch just depends on when you start watching it. I mean, you can rewind it to find...
Yeah. Well, so I couldn't get that to work the other day, and so it started playing other things on YouTube. And they were Lego Friends, but I think it was the very original Lego Friends.
There was it a web series or something?
Yeah, it was all cartoony, not like... They didn't look as minifigure-y. And it was awful. I was cringing, and I'm like, I have to turn this off. And Leah's like, no, it's great, it's fine, Mummy. But it was so much girlier than Girls on a Mission. Like, it was just like, oh, look, are we on a date? I don't know if we're on a date. Oh, look, I'm such a girl. And it was just, I was just like, I don't really want them watching this.
Okay.
There was just too much stereotypical girl stuff going on. Whereas the Girls on a Mission Friends series seems like the adventure and stuff. There's and there's a much bigger amount of like, oh, let's use some science to try and solve this problem, or use all of our different skills. It just seemed so wishy-washy before, and oh, look, we're little girls, and
I've not watched any of the older stuff.
Yeah, don't put it. And can you not put it on for them because it just seems so wrong.
So if the one on Lego channel, if you put it on and it's just black, that's that it's just run out of channels, so you have to rewind to get back to...
Oh, really?
So if you rewind far enough, you'll find episodes again. I don't know why they've done it that way. It's like they've gone, we're going to have a 12-hour thing on a loop, and the first so many hours of that encompasses the whole series, so the rest of it is just black.
Well, that's stupid.
It's Lego. They don't understand technology.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Yeah, because that's exactly what I found. I'm like, why is it black? I don't understand. So I tried going back a bit, and nothing else.
Oh no, you have to go back hours.
Yeah, well, that's just shoddy. I wish they would help us out more. Can you buy Lego Friends on a DVD?
I have no idea.
Because then this is the thing, it bothers me not watching things in order. I'm a very orderly kind of person. And I'm like, I want to know that they've watched episode 1, 2 and 3, and now it's time for 4, 5 and 6 kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas they're just like, put it on, we like it, it's great. And then preferably just leave the room and forget about us for a couple of hours. And we're like, okay. Great parents, honest.
Okay.
But yeah, I wish Lego were better at this. We've talked about Lego technology before.
We have.
I'll link that podcast up for you if you want to hear that. Spoiler alert, we didn't think they were very good at it.
We've also talked about gender bias before.
That's true. Don't make me link up too much.
So what about conventions?
So, do you mean...
So going as a family to conventions.
So, we have been to 2 with them recently. So the one that we went to this weekend and the one Milton Keynes. I've been to one by myself.
We went to one when Leah was very little. Yes.
And we're planning on going to Sheffield without them.
Yeah.
Now, why are we going without them? That's one of my questions. Originally, we were going to go without them because we wanted to drive all the way to the second brick show, which was a long way, and we just didn't think it was fair for them to have to do the journey and stuff.
Like an hour and a half each way.
Which is kind of what we did for Milton Keynes.
And it was quite painful being in the car with them, because Leah decided she didn't want to go. She didn't want to be in the car.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't asked them if they want to.
No.
So because this is the thing, she didn't really know what she was going to last time. I kind of feel like there's 2 different ways to do it. Like, when you're going with kids, are you really getting are you getting enough from it as an individual Lego enthusiast? Because you're constantly trying to watch them and make sure they're not getting their hair in the GBC or knocking over people's box and things.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find things that they'll find entertaining. Are you then sacrificing your preferences and what you want to see and the conversations that you could be having?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, at the latest one, I probably, if they weren't there, I would have spent longer looking at the AFOL welcome section where they had the piano, the typewriter.
Oh, right, okay.
And the NES.
You thought you would look more at
So
those.
I probably would have spent more time looking at those.
Just out of interest, what were you looking at those for? Because they don't really interest me.
Just the mechanism for the typewriter.
Right.
Have
okay.
a little look at how that works and try it and see how good it is.
So you want to be able to look at the mechanics of things without having to buy them and build them.
Yeah.
Because you might want to use some of the stuff.
Just
Or
general interest.
you're just interested. Again, I guess you don't really get that from going to a Lego store because you can't touch.
Yeah.
Whereas you can ask an AFOL,
Yes.
would you mind if I just have a quick play with this? Interesting.
Because I feel something... showing off particularly the piano and the typewriter and not letting someone actually try it, why are you... That seems a silly thing to do at a convention.
So if that happens again, just so you know, there's two of us and I can let you have that time.
I know, you were off chatting to lug people at that time, I think.
Oh no, but then we went back round.
But yeah.
You should have said at that point.
Yeah.
Because I'd happily entertain them while you did that.
Yeah.
Because you entertained them while I watched the really cool mock.
Mm.
Or didn't watch, chatted about that for ages.
And I guess going around the GBC with the girls is stressful.
It is, because you're worried they're going to knock it and
they're going to
destroy
touch it or get their hair caught.
Well, so we were more prepared this time because we went for hairbands.
Yeah.
And so there was less
a bit
of a worry.
better, but it's still...
But they definitely seem to get something out of it. I think the fact that there's sweets involved and interactive trails and stuff, that helps.
Yeah. I think they enjoyed it, but I don't think they'd be excited enough about going to a show to put up with an hour and a half in the car.
I guess all we could do is ask them. We haven't bought them tickets, so it's kind of a moot point. And we kind of would like them to have some family time with the grandparents, so it would be quite nice for them. And I think it'd be nice for us to go around and just look at things together. Because, again, you can do that split parenting where one person looks at something and the other person watches the children. But then you don't get the time to do the discussion. And when we're trying to build a city together, when we see something cool, you kind of want to cement the ideas there and then. Oh, that's really cool. We could do that here in this part. Yeah. Or we could use that technique for this bit of our city. And we just don't have those conversations because you're like, oh no, don't touch that. And you're back onto the parenting mode super quick. Yeah. How do you think it's going to change as they grow up? Do you think they're going to want to come to the conventions even more or even less? Or is it just an unknown?
We don't know. I guess that's going to be a difficult one of it. Say we wanted to go to some of the really big shows, like whether they're in Birmingham or London or even other countries, but we're only taking them to local shows. If the local shows are disappointing, they're not going to be interested in going to the bigger shows, even if they'd enjoy them.
I guess it's about trying to plan extra things at the locations you're going to incentivize. Yeah, trying to plan something that will make the journey worthwhile for them, and then they get the Lego show sort of bundled in. Do you think they would be interested in going to a show as volunteers kind of thing? Because I'm looking at going to a place and volunteering. Yeah. But can you take your family along to that? How would that work? How do you entertain the children?
I don't know.
That seems stressful to me.
Yeah.
But then maybe
as they get older, I mean,
maybe they'll enjoy that. Well, when you start getting tablet time, they just sit behind the thing.
Well, I mean, at both, at both Milton Keynes and the one we went to at the weekend, they had teenagers there helping with stuff, showing off stuff, running the little competition-y bits, and stuff like that. So at some point they would be old enough to actually
get
help.
Some responsibility and be useful.
How would you feel if they started buying non-Lego compatible sets?
What? Why would they do that?
They might really like tanks and so want to buy some Kobe sets.
Just don't tell them about these things. So when they got the hold of the Playmobil catalogue, I want this. And I'm like, no, you want Lego. I don't want to buy you Playmobil. Yeah. I don't know. Why did I not want to buy them Playmobil? Because Playmobil looks rubbish to me.
Because, Playmobil it's another thing to collect.
Yeah,
it's something
exactly.
that you don't want. So there's no overlap. As you say, at the moment, you can buy sets and let Leah build them.
Yeah.
If it was Playmobil, she'd get a lot less sets because you wouldn't be buying them
Yeah.
for her to build.
And they would just be another thing to store.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, the more different things your child is into, the harder it is to maintain like any sort of order in the house. So, yeah, I was like, nope. And she's forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
Every so often the topic comes up.
Does it?
Because they've got a Playmobil doll that floats around Hayley's room, I think.
Yeah, I've never heard her say about Playmobil again since.
Hayley will sometimes say that it's her Playmobil.
Do you think all brick building families are the same? How do you think other people do this?
Well, so you've got, you know, when you're looking at someone like Dr. McBrick, got much older kids, they more help with the city. You've got Alex whose kid like sets up little scenes in the city and car crashes quite a lot.
I'm quite looking forward to that element if that is something that we end up with. I guess there's also the brick building family that stems from the child. So we have brought our children on our journey, whereas I guess a lot of AFOLs will be born from your kids have got some sets and you look at them and you're like, oh, they look fun, and then you start.
Yeah.
So what would be different in that scenario? I guess you'd be less likely to steal all of their Lego because it started off as theirs. They'd feel a bit more ownership on that Lego. You'd be like, in this house, we all know that Mummy wants to keep all the Lego. It's quite clear. Mummy views the Lego as hers.
You presumably have less Lego.
Because who would have less Lego?
If it's your kids who are mainly into it.
Oh, because it would be a shorter period of time that you're collecting over.
No, I'm thinking more, you wouldn't buy your kids as many sets as you've bought yourself recently. Would you?
Me?
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't buy them a Lego set each week. That would be crazy. You'd want to make them wait for birthdays and for Christmas so that, you know, they appreciate it more and other random stuff like that.
Are we making it so that our children don't appreciate this Lego?
I don't know.
I mean,
they don't see a lot of the sets that we build.
Yeah, we bring a lot of stuff into the house, but it does get put away, and it's only sort of trickled out as such for them.
Yeah, sets appear in the city as far as they're concerned. They don't know.
Yeah, the Lego people are building it themselves.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So, you know, Leah, you do about one build a month with Leah.
Yeah.
So that's what she sees. So that's a small proportion of how much Lego we get.
Well, that's 12 sets extra, because I don't tend to build, or we don't always do like ones that she's been given.
Yeah.
I'll let her do those herself when she wants to. Or like when it's Christmas time, she'll get 3 or 4 sets and she wants to build them all. And so I'll let her build them all.
Yeah.
So then she's getting a lot extra.
Yeah.
They're very lucky children.
They are. But as I say, it's still a lot less than if they were building all of the Lego. So if it was kid-led...
Right, okay.
I'm saying that if you gave them as much Lego as we buy for our Lego collection, that would be crazy.
Yeah, they'd be super spoiled. We're super spoiled.
You are.
Why am I super spoiled?
Because I spoil you.
I buy my own stuff.
With my money.
You don't say no. It's your own fault.
That's true. It's one of the downsides of being a brick building family, other than having to share Lego. I
think for me, learning to share Lego and being less precious about it has been very hard. Yeah. And
you never learned that when it was just me. You just went, no, it's my Lego, you're not allowed it.
Yeah. Well, the only time I really had to accept people fiddling with the Lego was every Christmas when your dad would come round and move things in the Winter Village.
Yeah.
There was never really anyone else doing that.
Yeah.
You would always do it when we were building a set, and I would always get annoyed with you. So we'd come to get the pieces, and I'd be like, where's this piece? And you'd like made some really annoying thing with it.
Yeah.
And we'd have to take it all apart to get to the pieces we needed. But generally, if I kept you focused, then you didn't do that as much.
Yeah, as if you wandered off to do something, I'd sit and
you just
stick all the bits together.
So it's not really a skill that I ever had to learn before. And I'm still, would say, struggling with that.
Yeah.
Like when I go out to the Lego room and Leah's been up there, I'm like, it's so hard. But then at the same time, when I see some of the stuff she makes, it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I think there's two sides, my orderly set side and my want to nurture her creativity side. And they're just always in kind of fighting, like, don't touch that Lego. I think this year with the Winter Village is going to be an interesting one because they're both...
But they totally destroyed it last year.
They totally destroyed it last year, but I think they were constantly trying not to. Like, in their heads, they knew that Mummy had said, only play with this bit and only play with this bit. And there was some element of, right, we've got to try our best, but they still destroyed it. Whereas this year, they view all Lego as kind of a toy that they are allowed into.
Yeah.
Now. So I think day one it's going to be completely destroyed. The sets are going to be moved off the table and they're going to be playing with them all the time.
Quite possibly.
I think there's going to be a lot less boundaries this year. And that frightens me a little bit because I genuinely want to see the display. I don't want it to be destroyed. I want to be able to look over and go, oh, look at our little Winter Village. For me, it's nice to look at. It's part of my Christmas decorations, essentially.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like, ooh, the city's downstairs and we can play 24/7.
Yeah.
And they'll lose bits, and it's hard. That's why I try and give them rules to make it good for them and good for me.
Yes.
I don't think it works. I blame you because you don't necessarily make them stick to the rules.
It's
a daddy day. Oof, off you go. Maybe we should talk more about the ground rules in this house.
Yeah, just make them up as I go.
Yeah, okay. Right, so the future of being a brick building family is unknown because there is no, blueprint for a brick building family. They're all just families, and we just happen to make this our thing that we do together for fun.
Yep.
Okay, if you got any brick building family questions for us, let us know in the comments below or catch us on Instagram, where I'll be happy to answer.
If you've got any tips for Carrie on how to play with others better and share her Lego.
Especially when those people are naughty people that don't play the same way as her. Yeah, let us know that as well. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to catch older episodes, you can find those on YouTube. I'll link that up for you now. And we'll be back next week with another episode of the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.